Hey there, my name is Andy. Welcome to Namaste at Home Yoga. This practice is going to be a strong and stable kind of practice. So we're going to work a little bit on some strength things, a little bit on core, but as well some general stabilizing and some balance work too. So we're going to start standing. This is going to be a little bit higher intensity, although again, not crazy high intensity. It's not going to be a full on sweat session unless maybe you're doing this outside in the beautiful sunshine, and then it could possibly be. But otherwise, pretty much all you'll need today is your mat, so grab it if you need. Find your way to the center, and like I said, we will start standing today. So bring your feet about hip distance, pick those toes up, spread them out wide, find a little rock forward and back. So we find that kind of center spot in the feet to settle in. Bringing it into Tadasana here, we'll bring the chest nice and proud, opening the palms towards the front, bringing yourselves up nice and tall through the crown of the head. Let's just take a moment to feel how we are resting right now. If we have a little bit of a gentle sway going on, noticing if we're holding a little bit of extra tension anywhere, whether it's up in the neck, into the shoulders, in the face, maybe in the legs, squeezing them tight. Just allow a soft bend to come to the knees. Allow the hips to settle. Draw in through your core a little bit, not fully engaged just now, but enough to keep us standing tall. Find a little bit of openness through the chest. Let's roll our shoulders up towards the ears, down and away. And maybe we'll find a gentle bit of movement in through the neck here. So drawing the right ear down towards the right shoulder, coming back through center. Left ear, left shoulder, back through center. Just one more each side. Take it nice and slow, finding a gentle stretch in that side lean. Fantastic. Moving through these arms, let's sweep them overhead. Inhale. Exhale to cactus arms, elbows draw down either side of the body. Again, inhale, sweep up. Exhale, cactus arms. One more. Inhale up. Exhale, draw it down, elbows towards either side of the ribs. Fantastic. You can release that to catch hips. Standing nice and tall here. We'll warm up our balance or check in with it a little bit with a tree pose. You can shift your weight over to the left leg. Turn the right knee open towards the side, and maybe we leave that toe on the mat for today. That's perfectly fine. We can draw the heel in so that the foot can rest against the left leg, maybe lifting up towards the calf or the upper inner thigh. Just avoiding the knee joint, finding somewhere above or below that we can hang out and settle into. Allow yourself to feel rooted through that standing leg. Feel all four corners of that foot pressing firm into your mat. Engaging through the hips here as we open that right knee to the side. And then feel a little bit of a squeeze, right foot in towards that left leg pressing back against the right foot. Hands can stay as they are, or maybe move through center, overhead, out to sides, whatever you are feeling today. Wonderful. From here, we're going to bring that knee forward. Draw it up towards the chest. Left hand can come down towards the right leg. Send yourself into a little bit of a twist here. Maybe it's a gentle turn over towards the side wall. Maybe we extend that by kicking the leg away from us, extending fingertips back behind us. I didn't give myself enough room here. Keeping ourselves growing tall, strong and rooted through that foot. And exhaling to come back through center. Find your way to the mat. All right, that's bound to wake some things up in our standing legs. Let's go ahead and even that out. Switching over to the right side. Find that stability, pressing down firm through that foot, all four corners. We'll grow tall through the spine, opening that left knee towards the side wall first, leaving it on the ground, or finding a little bit of lift somewhere along the inner right leg, upper thigh, calf, or just gently tapping against it. Find that pressure down through the foot, opposing energy drawing up through the crown of the head, zipping up strong through the core, legs engaged, opening that knee out towards the side. And if that feels good for you, go ahead and take another arm variation if you haven't already. Have some fun with these. Make them your own. Branches don't have to match. Wonderful. Let's take an inhale to draw that knee in towards the center, lift it up towards the chest. Moving into our twist, right hand starts to reach across. Gentle shift of the gaze over to the side wall, staying as you are, or maybe we kick that leg away from us, extending that opposite arm back behind us, reaching forward with the foot, back with fingertips, growing tall through the crown. So many things happening at once. Maybe balance is more challenged over here. I'm sure breath is as well. Let's take one more. Exhaling, we come back through center, releasing onto the mat. Let's step the feet a little bit wider. We'll turn toes out about 45 degrees. Send an inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, come back to cactus arms, find a low squat. Again, inhale, sweep, open up. Exhale, squat. One more, inhale, lift. Exhale, squat. Gently releasing hands down to the hips or to the legs. Think about drawing tall through the crown of the head, letting the tailbone drop towards the mat. Pressing out and back through the knees or outside edges of the legs, like they're going to come and meet the back wall, but just so that they end up in line with our toes pointing in the same direction. Holding here for another 2. And 1. Inhale, grow tall. You can turn the toes to point towards the side of your mat, towards that long edge, maybe pigeon-toeing them slightly. Find that soft bend in the knees here. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, release them down, full empty of those lungs. Right hand can start to reach down the right leg, left fingertips to sky. And we find a little lift and reach up and over. Not as far as you can into a side bend, but enough to open up through the left side of the body. Almost like you're reaching for the top corner if you're inside where the wall and the ceiling meet. Strong through that core. And even in this wider stance, equal pressure through our feet. Beautiful. Inhale, come back up through center. Exhale, release it down. Other side. Inhale, we reach. Exhale, starting to lean. Coming up and over. Maybe finding some openness through the side of the body. Using our breath, maybe inhales. Start to open the chest a little bit more towards the ceiling. Allow shoulders to melt away from the ears. Notice where our body is fired up to help keep us stable here. For 1 more. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, we release, catching hips. Grow tall through the spine. As we exhale, we'll hinge forward at the hips, keeping that neutral long spine for as long as we can. And when we can go no further, allow that back to melt. Just let everything get heavy here. Head, arms, shoulders. Find a very soft bend to the knees, just so we avoid locking them out straight. So invite some gentle sway side to side, grabbing for opposite elbows, finding a little bit of movement if the body is okay with that. Maybe allowing the head to give it a little bit of a shake, no or yes. Helping release any unnecessary tension through the upper back. If you're grabbing for arms, you can gently release hands down towards the mat or to blocks wherever they happen to reach. Moving with the breath as you exhale, send the hips low. Inhale, find length, hips high. Exhale, hips low. Inhale, left. One more. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. We'll start to walk the hands over towards the right side of the mat. Toes can turn to face that right side. Stepping back into a lunge. We'll come into a runner's lunge here, getting strong through the feet, strong in that core. Draw the chest up and forward slightly as hands float back. Finding that opposing energy once more. Crown of the head reaches forward as that heel reaches back, toes pressing firmly into your mat. Draw strong through that core, belly button in towards the spine, low ribs tucked in. For 2. And 1. As you exhale, go ahead and frame that foot. Left foot can find its way down to the mat. Right toe still pointing towards the right side. We'll sweep up into our warrior 2. Shoulders stack over hips, fingertips reaching opposite directions. Take an exhale to settle into your lunge. Same as in our wide squats to start. Feel that knee pressing back so that it stacks right over top of the ankle. Knee and toes pointing the same direction. And finding some other opposing energies here. Equal pressure between front foot and back foot. Fingertips reaching opposite directions. And crown of the head growing tall as that core holds the tailbone down towards the earth. Wonderful. Let's take an exhale, right elbow towards the right leg. Left arm sweeps overhead. Find that nice long line through the side body, extended side angle. Even though that arm is reaching, we use our exhales to let the shoulders melt away from the ears. Finding an inhale, we'll sweep back up, warrior 2. Exhale, windmill down, frame the foot. Let's find a downward dog. Take a moment here if you need to, pedal it out or weight shift side to side, whatever feels good. And then finding our inverted V posture here. Hands resting about shoulder width apart. Feet, same thing, shoulder width or hip width apart. Sit bones start to reach up and back. With an inhale, let's send the right leg high. Exhale, shift forward, knee draws towards the nose. Inhale, send that back. Exhale, right knee towards the right elbow or right tricep. Inhale, draw back. Exhale, cross body, right knee towards the left elbow. Last one, inhale, kick it back. Exhale, back to center, knee to nose. Hold strong for 3. Arms pressing away from you, 2. Really good in that breath, 1. And gently placing that foot between the hands. We'll take one more runner's lunge. Go ahead and reach the crown of the head forward, fingertips back. Small lift here. Feel that breath moving now. Hopefully you're starting to warm up, waking up some muscles. Feel that length through the spine. Beautiful. From here, we can turn those toes, straighten up through the legs first, pardon me. We'll turn the toes back towards the long side. If your stance is a little long, feel free to heel toe feet back towards each other. Resetting for our second side. Toes are going to point towards the left edge of our mat. Settling into our lunge first. You can adjust stance however you need. Hands can find their way down to the mat. Find that equal pressure between front and back foot. Left hip draws back, right hip forward. Float up to your runner's lunge when you're ready. A little bit of a lift. Strong reach back through those fingertips. Palms facing the earth to open up through the chest. Get high on your back toes. Excellent. Couple more breaths strong. Exhaling to frame the foot. Right heel drops to the mat. Foot parallel with the short edge. Arms can sweep up to warrior two whenever you are ready. And let's use our breath. Exhale to find a deep lunge. Taking a moment to tune in to those energies. All the ways that we're ascending them right now. Through fingertips front and back. Crown of the head tall. Tailbone towards the earth grounded. Equal pressure through front and back foot, allowing us to settle centered. Shoulders stacking over hips. Breath flowing strong. If you haven't already checked in with that front leg, find a little bit of a press out with the knee. And exhaling, left arm finds that left leg. Right arm sweeps overhead for extended side angle. Creating length. Making your very own unique shape. Whatever your body is okay with today. Feeling free to modify as you need to. Somewhere that we can keep that breath flowing. Excellent stuff. Find an inhale, float back up, warrior two. Exhale, we windmill down. Frame the foot. You can pick up that back heel. And we'll find our runner's lunge once more. Legs starting to warm up more, I'm sure. Core a little bit more fired up. When you're ready, crown reaches. Arms draw back. Finding that lift. A little bit of a challenge. Ooh, I'm going to keep you on your toes this time around and do things in a different order. But we'll even things out. Don't worry, I didn't forget about core on our second side. Exhaling, lower, frame that foot, step back, downward dog. Second downward dog, but still, if you need to, move it about a little bit. Maybe get high on the toes, find a bend to the knees. What feels good here? When you are ready, send that left leg high, inhale. Exhale, shift forward, knee to nose. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, shift back. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Last one, we go back. And then coming back through center, knee to nose. Firm through the arms. Press the earth away from you. You've got two more. Planting our foot between the hands. Wonderful. We'll find a lift back up to straight legs. Turning our toes back towards the side wall. And go ahead and step the feet back together here. We'll bring big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. Sweep those arms overhead. We'll interlace fingers, release index fingers, and get so tall here. As you exhale, reaching up and over towards the right side. We did this in our wide stance before. Notice what changes with our feet together here. Where is stability challenged? Is our core still holding strong? Breath still flowing smooth? Shoulders still relaxed? Excellent job. Inhale through center. Exhale, second side. With each breath in, we find space. Each exhale, we find stability. We anchor our strength. Last one here, you've got it. Inhaling through center. Exhale, release those arms down. Find your mountain pose. Big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Sigh it out. One more if you need it. Those feel good. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, exhale. That's all there is to it. Exhale, exhale. Just that. Fantastic. Let's bring the feet back to hip distance. We've been firing up the legs quite a bit already. Doesn't mean we can't do just a little bit more. Let's send arms in line with shoulders. Exhale to sit hips back and down, finding your chair. Grow tall through the spine. Again, let that tailbone point towards the earth, drawing the core in tight. Not so tight that it restricts our breathing, of course, but enough to keep our back strong, our spine neutral. Inhale, float back up. Exhale, release those arms down. We can catch hips for now. Weight shift over into one foot or the other, your choice. We'll do both. We're going to send the opposite leg out behind us, just toes to touch. Notice immediately if your hips start to open one way or another. See if we can bring them square to the front of the mat, front of the room. Grow a little taller through the crown of the head. Keep that same neutral spine as we start to hinge forward at the hips. Maybe lifting toes to a hover. Maybe finding more of a lean forward. Finding that long plank, those opposing energies from the top of the head, out the back heel. Choice of arms today, keeping at the hips, extending back like runner's lunge, or overhead. Take your pick. Fire up that back leg, flex your toes back towards your face. You've got two left. One more, nice work. Next inhale draws us back up to stance. Release it onto the mat. And get excited for your second side. Shifting the weight over. We'll extend that opposite leg back behind us. Check in with those hips. I know mine like to open right away. Square them up. Find that long line. Using your breath. Take your time as you hinge. Growing tall. Finding length with every inhale. Finding somewhere for the arms to rest. Let that balance be challenged. Find your edges. One more good breath. You've got it. And inhale draws us back up. Exhaling, we release. You can find your way to a comfortable seat. We'll start by bringing foot soles together today, letting knees fall open to the sides. Inhaling, we grow tall. And exhale starts to draw our chest forward. It might be just to a tall spine. Maybe we find a little bit more of a lean today. And activating through the outside edges of the hips to press the knees down towards the mat. Arms will probably want to help us out. Let's see where we can relax them. Making those hips work a little bit on their own. Fantastic stuff. Inhale, come on back up. Release the legs out in front of you. We'll find our way into a gentle forward fold. If you have fairly open hamstrings, your open back body, feel free to keep the legs fairly close together. If they're a little bit tighter, there's a little bit more restriction that you find, you can bring the feet maybe a bit wider, mat width, hip width. And if it feels good, feel free to add a gentle bend to the knees. As you inhale, grow tall. Exhale, we start to draw the chest forward again, maybe to a tall spine, maybe to that forward lean. And for this one, we're gonna stay in a little longer. We'll let it go passive. So take the next few exhales to soften through the shoulders, through the neck, through the jaw, forehead, anywhere else that might be holding on a little bit extra, maybe letting go of the hands. Next exhale. Maybe coming back to shoulders. Breathing in openness through the back body into the hamstrings, maybe the calves if they're especially tight. Got 3 more to just let yourself melt. After one more good breath, take your time, finding your way back up to your tall seat. You can sweep the legs out behind you and make your way onto your stomach. No rush here. We'll strengthen in through the back, sending arms towards either corner of our mat. You can find maybe a 90-degree elbow on either side of the body, maybe a little bit more of a bend if that feels okay for you. Starting with just the head and chest, find an inhale to lift. Arms are light, maybe helping just a little bit. And allow that breath to flow smooth for a couple here. Firm through the front of the body, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. And exhaling, we gently lower. Find a breath to reset. We'll bring it into the arms a little bit more this time, into the upper back. Maintaining that length in the neck, shoulders down away from the ears. Take an inhale just to lift the arms, backs of the hands and elbows towards the ceiling. Holding strong. Breath is smooth. And exhaling to release. You can send the arms overhead. thumbs up towards the ceiling. Forehead can come to rest. And keep in mind with this one, arms may not lift at all. Maybe they just get a little bit lighter on the mat. Even so, we're still getting some really excellent opening, some excellent activation through here. So no worries, whatever height arms tend to reach. Just move at your own pace. With an inhale, arms and only arms get light or lift up and away from the mat. Strong breath, 2 more. Exhaling, we gently release and lower. Next, we'll send arms back alongside the hips. We'll go through more of a full body lift this time, full strengthening through the back of the body. Arms are going to be familiar with this. It's similar to our runner's lunge, or as an option, we can interlace fingers behind the back, squeeze palms together to help open up the chest. Legs, on the other hand, are going to zip together, finding a little bit of lift, keeping themselves mostly straight, fairly straight. Same with the arms. Maybe things just get lighter today, and that is wonderful. Maybe they start to lift, but just take it slow. Move with the breath, small adjustments. And send those arms back. Inhale, lift through head and chest. Exhale, legs come to join. Noticing all the little areas that we feel so active right now, through the back, through the shoulders as we squeeze the palms together, or send the arms back. Zipping the legs together. So strong. 1 more. And exhale to release. You can bring toes to touch, heels to fall apart. 1 cheek to rest on the mat as we reset. Recover. You can go ahead and switch sides, other cheek resting on the mat. Really feeling that breath move through the body as it presses the belly, presses the chest into the earth. You feel that gentle emptying, that relaxation as we exhale. Hands can find their way back under shoulders. Press through your tabletop. And you can send the legs out in front of you. Find your way onto your back for our last couple of postures. Maybe we'll start with a little bit of a back massage, squeezing these in towards the chest, finding a gentle rock side to side or forward and back. Releasing feet down to the mat. Let's engage once more through the back body, finding some really good strength today. If you have a block, an option would be to bring the block between the knees so you have something to squeeze against. And if you don't have a block, you can imagine one being there so that legs are actively squeezing in towards each other without moving from their hip distance apart spots. Hands can press on either side of the hips, finding an inhale to lift. Exhale, press down through the feet, grounded in the heels, grounded in the backs of the shoulders. Noticing how much height we have here, where our body is more open or more restricted, where we feel things active once more. As you exhale, gently lower vertebrae by vertebrae, hips last. If you have that block, go ahead and bring it off to the side. Last little core exercise for this practice. We'll fold legs up like you're sitting in an invisible chair. We'll bring hands to the tops of the thighs to start fairly close to the knees. Find an inhale, fill up. As you exhale, press hands into legs, legs back into hands. As much pressure, as little pressure as you want. The harder you press, the harder you work. Another breath here. Keep going. 2. And 1. Gently release. Footsoles back to the mat. Take a quick breather. We'll go through a couple more of those. You know you're really working hard with those if you get a little bit of a shake going. But again, I encourage you to keep the breath smooth. If all of a sudden you're holding it, or you feel any discomfort, modify the exercises you need to. Take breaks when you need to. For now, we'll get into our second round. Legs float up, hands now to the middle of the thighs. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, start to press. Hands into legs, legs into hands. Get fired up, create heat, create strength, challenge stability. For 2. And 1. Nicely done. Release that on down. We've just got one more left of those. Almost to the hardest part of our practice. All right, let's get this in. Bring legs back up. Hands find their way to the thighs. Slide them a little closer to your hips if that feels okay. Here we go. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, press. Firm pressure. You are strong. You are capable. 3, 2, and 1. Let that go. Footsoles can come to touch. We'll allow knees to fall open to the sides. Maybe hands come to rest at the sides, on the belly to reconnect with the breath, or even overhead. Give your shoulders a little bit more of a opener, more of a break, more relief. Whatever you are needing today. Notice how that breath is flowing through you right now. If it's feeling a little bit fuller, maybe a little bit freer. Allowing the back body to really melt into your mat. Let go. Hands can find their way to the outsides of the legs. Help them close together like a book. We're going to come back into that legs like a chair thing one more time. And not for such a core workout, but opening those arms to either side to a T or to goalposts if you don't quite have space. Let's move into a twist. Allow the legs to come over to the right side of the mat. Left shoulder is heavy back the other way. Just taking this moment to wring everything out from our practice. If you love to bring in other leg variations, you're more than welcome to do so. This is too much. Maybe bringing a cushion or that block from before back between the knees. Use that core. Find an inhale, draw back through center. Over to the left side. Let the legs come over. Right shoulder opening back up towards the mat. A nice little twist to end everything with here. Take 2 more good breaths. And then with an inhale, we'll draw legs back through center. You're going to fill out big inhale. Exhale to pull into a ball here. Knees in towards the chest, forehead to knees. Exhale fully. You can relax out of that. Roll over onto one side or the other. To find a comfortable seat once more. You can allow the sit bones to settle into the mat. Grow up nice and tall through the crown of the head. Find a big inhale, fill up bottom to top. Sigh it out, let it go. So we return to our natural breathing rhythm. Just let it go however it needs to. Maybe allowing the eyes to rest closed for a couple of moments. Giving yourself a bit of gratitude for doing something new or different or challenging, whatever it may be. I hope you were challenged a little bit in your stability. I found some really good ways to build strength in the body, even in some of the most subtle ways. You can draw the hands through center, chin to chest as we softly open the eyes. Thank you for joining me for a strong and stable practice. I hope that you are feeling super, super strong, super stable, and that we found some really interesting ways to cultivate that in the body. We will see you again soon.